Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be talking about 16 truths that have set me free. This is my pathway to freedom. My name is Yonci, if we haven't met before, and I have overcome clinical depression and I've learned to manage my anxiety. And what I want to do with my YouTube channel is share with people the things that I have learned along the way that will hopefully fast track you to a life of freedom. So many people are just existing, but they're not living. They don't live a life that they are excited about. They're not happy to wake up each day. You might not be clinically depressed, but you know that you're not where you want to be. Something feels like it's missing inside. Well, my channel is just for people like that. If I've described you in any way, I hope you stick around and check out some of my content. Please share this video with anyone you think can benefit from the information I'm going to be sharing today. And if you want to be notified when a new video comes out, hit the notification bell once you subscribe. With each video, I promise to give you super practical tips that you can use and apply to your life today, not some pie in the sky elevated stuff that doesn't really relate to the real person. And if it helps you, please comment below and let me know your thoughts. All right, so let's get into my pathway to peace. These are 16 truths that truly set me free. All right, so the very first thing is have a different perspective. One of the reasons why people fall into a depression is because they feel like something's wrong. They feel like they are a victim. They feel like life shouldn't be doing what it's doing. Like life has given you a curveball and why me, why me? And you just spiral down because you don't know why things were happening. Now, if someone were to be able to say, hey, what you're going through for this full year or 18 months is going to catapult you into something amazing, and they had a crystal ball, it would put everything in perspective, right? You wouldn't feel as discouraged because you're like, oh, I'm doing this to get here. Same thing with taking a flight of stairs. If you have to go up a flight of stairs, you don't stress out going up each step, even though your heart rate may be elevated, you might start to sweat, because you know that if you just get through those 15 or 12 steps, whatever is the standard amount of steps in a flight, you know you're getting to your goal. So even though it's difficult, you're able to put it in perspective and compartmentalize and push through because where you're going is so awesome, or where you're going is where you need to go, and you just realize this is just a part of the process. This is the mindset that I want you guys to have. When you understand that for whatever reason, this is the way life is, look at it like a rite of passage. I want to give you something to think about. Think about diamonds, right? Every girl wants a diamond. They want a big, beautiful one, or maybe guys wear studs in their ears or whatnot. But the diamond, in order to get to where it is, its most brilliant state, it has to be cut. Nobody wants a diamond in the rough. That's where that phrase, that metaphor came from. In the rough. It means before you've gotten to your highest level of beauty. The point before you've reached your highest worth. You've experienced and recognized the value and other people can see it. It has to be cut. Think about gold, okay? Gold has to go through fire. It literally gets refined by going through the heat. These are metaphors, but these are real life things. Think about that. A seed has to be buried in the ground. It dies, it rots, and out of that springs life. A little sprout comes forward and the seed is dead and gone. If you want to use a fitness analogy, the way you build muscles is to tear them down. That's why you're sore. I don't get it. I don't understand the way that life works and why it's that way. But if you look at the world around us, outside of humans, you will see that this is a process. And I want you to take comfort in that. Take comfort in knowing this is how it is. Oftentimes, the difference between an adult and a child is our mental capacity, our ability to understand that certain things we have to go through to get what we want. It's the same thing with the old story about giving the child a shot. You give the child a shot even though you know they're going to cry and be uncomfortable for a short while, because why? You think that the end result is going to be greater. You feel like it's something that's going to give them, if it's medicine, it's going to help them. If it's a vaccination, you're hoping that it will prevent something down the road. But either way, it's not that you're making light of their suffering and their discomfort and even their fear. It's the fact that you know that something greater is on the other side and it's worth pushing through. And you understand it is so temporary in comparison to the long-term ultimate goal that you're on. Make sense? So number one is change your perspective. Have a different perspective. Number two, self-discipline. This is huge. As I was putting these in order, I thought I can't put them in order of importance because these are all equally huge. This one right here though is so big, I'm gonna dedicate an entire separate video just to self-discipline. But understand that self-discipline is the breakthrough to everything. It's kind of like electricity. You might have the most amazing device, but unless you plug it in, you will never realize the abilities that this product has. Number 3 is spirituality. I heard this really awesome quote that's so true. We are spirits having a human experience. And if you forget that we are spirit, it just happens to be encased in a body made of flesh, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. And so many of the things that I'm gonna share with you are based on the understanding that we are spirits. There are a lot of things you're gonna tap into and access that are not based on the physical. And if you don't understand this, you're gonna miss a lot of things, and you're gonna be trying to do quantum physics with a small abacus. It's just not gonna work. You need certain tools and certain understandings to be able to break through and live this amazing life that you feel in your spirit you deserve to live. So I want to read a quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. You can read more about his content in this video called Your Life Begins Now. It's an audio book, but it's Your Life Begins Now on YouTube. He's amazing. This quote says, "There are two people inside of you. The ego, who is demanding, easily offended, believes in itself, thinks that it's special, and is jealous and insecure. There's also a hidden higher self whose beautiful voice is rarely heard or attended to." And what I want to be able to get you guys to do through these videos is to get in tune with the higher self. In the Bible, it refers to flesh and spirit. And oftentimes the flesh, which is the ego, it is self-sabotaging. It is going to alienate you from other people. It causes you to not be likable. It causes you to not see your flaws. It has a lot of blind spots, okay? But that entity inside of you is big, and it's loud, and it's obnoxious. The super quiet one that most people go their life without even recognizing or listening to is the voice that is so important, and it's the key. Listening and identifying this voice is the key to everything. So many of the things that I'm going to talk about they're not super complex. It's wild how simple they are. But if you can master these simple principles, I cannot express enough how this will change your life. Now, number 4, avoiding self-centeredness, which kind of ties into the ego that I mentioned in step number 3. But you want to avoid self-centeredness. Now, there's a difference between self-care and self-centeredness, because I think a lot of people will possibly mix these two together. One is, I'm going to take care of me, and I'm going to do what I want despite anyone else and at all costs. That's kind of self-centeredness. Self-care is, let me assess what I need and make sure that I'm at my best so that I can best serve others. It's kind of the putting on your own mask before helping someone else on the plane. It's not selfish, it's just necessary for you to be operating at your best level. The other thing, believe it or not, even though the mainstream media pushes so much about being self-centered, just do it and it's all about you, that life is lonely. The promises that we hear are fraudulent. If you get all this money, or if you have all this sex, or you have all these relationships, you have the business of your dreams or the fame, it's fraudulent promises. At the end of it is lonely AF, okay? As opposed to a purpose-filled life, it is so fulfilling and rewarding. It's the weirdest thing. I remember hearing something as a child where it said, love is best when you give it away. And I thought, it was something about giving it away. I don't know if it was love. I think it was love if you give it away. And I just thought, it just sounds weird. It sounds foreign to us. If you give something away, you feel more fulfilled. You would think it's the opposite. If you consume more, you should feel more fulfilled, right? But it's the opposite. And again, all these things I'm gonna unpack in individual videos later. So bear with me. I just want to quickly rattle this off, and I know people don't have long attention spans, so I want to talk quickly so that we can get through them. Number 5, I call don't give away your power. One of the things that I did the worst in my 20s and even in my 30s was give away my power. And something that I learned, the older that I get, the more I learn this is true. It's not all about you, boo, and it's not even that serious. So many things that we are mortified as kids about, nobody even cares. No one's even paying attention. And the crazy thing is at the bottom of all this insecurity, it's ego. Your pride is raging so strong that you think people care most people don't care. And even if they seem like they care, it's for a second and then they have moved on to the next thing. Boo, they ain't tripping on you. Another big thing is don't tie your aspirations to other people. Don't make what you want contingent upon somebody else, which is why it's so important when it comes to relationships to find yourself and find joy in being alone. Because if you tie your joy to somebody else, well, guess what? You're screwed if they don't hold up their end of the bargain. So if Prince Charming doesn't come and save you, if the woman of your dreams doesn't reveal herself, you're gonna be miserable because why? Your joy is tied to somebody else. And this is a bonus, speaking of relationships. Don't look for somebody who accepts you as you are. Okay, we are living things and we are growing. If something stops growing, it's dead, right? If you look into the plant life or things like that, you want somebody who is going to be gentle with you, of course, and love you and accept you and, you know, give you grace, but you really, really want somebody who's going to help you on your path to growth. You don't really want someone who accepts you as you are. Think about who you were at 10. Who you were at 20, who you were at 30, who you were at 40. Would you want to stay how you are then? No. At your core, yes, you want acceptance, like who you are. You don't want them to leave you, but you want somebody who's going to understand there's beauty in growth, and you want to keep elevating and keep elevating and keep elevating. So we really should get rid of this notion like, accept me as I am. Because a lot of times we have a lot of funky flaws that need to be worked out. And in being in a relationship, if you break down the root word of relationship, it's relate. In relating to someone, and this is, imagine this is two people looking at each other, it's like you're looking into a mirror, because this person will let you know what they see. They have no filter. They have no blind spots. They can see exactly what's going on, and they're going to see things that we can't because of our ego, which I said, which puts on blinders. They don't have those blinders. So if you get with a partner that's healthy, I'm not talking about a narcissist or somebody who gets off on your pain, but if you get with somebody who truly loves you and wants the best for you, child, that will elevate your growth so quick. But beware, growth is not comfortable, especially if it's inspired by somebody else. So be careful what you ask for. The last thing in this category, number 5, is to be mindful of toxic people. And I want to get into that later. I don't really want to go too much into it now, but be careful because you want to be this benevolent person who gives, but you always want to make sure you're not being abused. You want to make sure you're not taken advantage of. And this is kind of tricky, so we're going to unpack that later. Number 6, know yourself. This one is so personal to me. The reason why my brand is called Chasing Yonci, it's because I'm literally chasing myself. I'm chasing myself to try to figure out who I am. Who is Yonci? What is she like? And later I'll get into the story of how specifically I had this epiphany. It all came from being on a dating app and realizing that I couldn't even fill out the portion that says, what do you like to do in your spare time? That's basically Cliff Notes in a nutshell, what happened. And I had this aha moment like, my God, I don't know who I am. I lost myself in being a wife, lost myself in being a mother, lost myself in being a daughter, lost myself in being a friend. I didn't know who I was on my own. And if I had to sit down and say, what are 10 things that I like to do by myself without anybody else, if no one else is doing it, what will bring me joy? I struggle to complete that list. So this is so crucial. And again, these are all things, each of these things I will probably eventually do separate videos on. And while you guys are watching, if there's anything in particular that I'm really going quickly over, but you're like, man, this is something I want to know more about, I really want you to unpack it, and you want me to do that one before something else, I will skip ahead and do that video next if I get enough comments saying this is an area I really want to explore. So just comment. We're in a community. I'm flexible. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm doing these videos not for myself because I've already gone through this. It's for other people. I wish to God I had videos like this that I could go through. I searched the web when I was going through the height of my depression, and I couldn't really seem to find exactly what I was looking for. So my prayer is that my pain, my years of crying myself to sleep, my suffering through and crippling anxiety, I wish that I had a channel like this to be able to watch and a community to be able to wrap their arms around me, proverbially speaking, and help me through it. And so I pray that all my pain and my suffering was not for nothing. And I pray that there's even just one person that benefits. So let me know in the comments, you guys, if this stuff is helpful. And give me feedback, because this platform is different. Platform meaning online. Online is different because it's me talking to a camera. It's not me in a room of people, which I love to do because I can see their facial expressions, if they're clapping, if they're crying, if they're laughing, if they stand at the end and do an ovation, which It's not happening. But if they were to, I would get it, or they can come after and hug me and say, I really appreciate that. But on YouTube, you know, and social media, you don't get that instant gratification of knowing that your message resonated with somebody. So if you could be so kind, like it, comment, share if you want to, but give me that feedback and let me know that I'm on track, okay guys? Because this is new to me too. I think this is video number 3. Technically it's 4 because my second video was cut into 2 parts, but this is new to me. So, you know, help a sister out. Also, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about me, you can check me out on social media. I'm on Instagram. I try to give quick little motivational quotes for you to read and get inspired by. You can also see a little bit of my life behind the scenes. I try to do some fun stories and kind of let you dig in deeper. On Facebook, I'm there as well. I'm not as active on Facebook. I do post the projects that I'm working on. I put notifications about videos that are coming out, and I'll post pictures and things like that. But I'm super, super involved in my community. I have an online community that I am responsible for, and I love that group. And so I spend a lot of time there. But my public page, Chasing Yonci, is there if you guys want to check it out. And I'm contemplating having a group down the line if there's enough of a community that grows, because it's a lot more intimate. You can do live videos. You can do it here too, but it's just a little bit different, I think, because I'm spoiled and I'm comfortable with Facebook. But anyway, those are where you can find me. You can also find me on chasingyonci.com. That's my website. It's kind of the hub where everything is. And of course, I'll have all the links in the description below so you guys can click on anything and see where you can find me. But I think that's pretty much it where you can find me. I also do 2 different podcasts, totally different than the content here. So again, if you're liking what you see and you just want a little bit more, because I only drop videos weekly, Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's something else you can do in the meantime. Thanks in advance. Thank you for watching part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.